have a temperature listed there. With question number 1, that's the temperature changes. We don't talk about what the actual temperature is. This is just the changes that happens over 3 hours. So what we want to know is how much higher or lower than the first hour was the final temperature. So what we have to do is we have to add these together. So we're going to get plus 2.3 plus negative 4.5 plus negative 2.7. Now when we correct these, what happens is kind of cool. This plus negative 4.5 just changes into a subtraction. And the second one does as well because of the signs. On tomorrow's quiz, that will be for a mark. So you need to know that the double signs change to a subtraction or an addition, depending on what you have. Kiranjo.
How long is your quiz tomorrow?
Very short. So now you can go to your calculator once you've corrected your signs and see what the final change was. Make sure you enter it into your calculator properly, because that's really important. So I get an answer of negative 4.9. Now I have to put that into a short little sentence. So what should we say? Any ideas? Final temperature was... Now what descriptive word can we use to reflect that negative sign? It was lowered, right? The negative sign means it was lowered. So the temperature was lowered 4.9 degrees Celsius. So we need to interpret the number to use the proper word in English. You have to say that the change was a decrease. Okay. Any questions about that? Okay, so number 2, very similar. We're talking about shares in a company. So what they do is you have a share price, which is $58.22. But each day they list the change overall. So on Monday, did the price go up or down? Down. Tuesday? Down. Wednesday? Up. Thursday? Friday? So what we want to know is what was the overall change at the end of the week. So again, we're going to add them. So we're going to get negative $2.78. And we will plus a decrease plus an increase plus an increase plus another increase. And all of you will say, but Mr. Barker, why don't we just go subtract? And I'll say, that's what happens, but you should understand we're adding the changes. And once you've corrected your signs, go to your calculator to see what the change was throughout the week. Make sure you know how to put in negative numbers into your calculator, okay? So please do practice this. You want to be able to enter negative numbers. And the overall change, what was it? Is a decrease of, yep, Sarah?
Yeah.
Right, so it's a decrease. So instead of using the word lower, I'll use the word decrease. There's several different words that you could use there to reflect your negative sign and what your negative sign means. Here we want to reflect a decrease of price. Yep.
Do you have to add or subtract it by the 58?
No, because it doesn't say what was the final price. It says what was the change in price.
Oh,
Okay, and so we're just finding our change. Kezia?
I have a question for negative 2.78 plus negative 5.45. Why is it why do you subtract it instead of add it? It says
Right, and so when we have double signs like this, when you're adding a negative, that's the same as subtracting. Okay, because the numbers are going to get lower, so we can simplify those signs. Okay, so then it asks now, what's the price at the end of the week? So you could caveman it. You could do it this way, $58.22, and you could go minus 2.78 or add the negative. Don't write this down. Minus 5.45 plus 38 cents plus $1.38 plus $2.12. You could totally do that. Just add or subtract each day according to whether the price was increased or decreased. But we've already done that. We already did that. That's this number right here. So we're just going to go take the price and add the change. Okay. Now, of course, that results in subtracting. And now we can see what our new price will be by using our calculator. $53.87. Okay. So this here would be your final price. Notice how I am using words here because it is a word problem. So I always like to give a short little sentence, and that's good because that makes you double check and make sure you answered the question properly. Questions? I'm going a little quick. I do understand that because of the shortness on time. All right, next one. What's the total change in value if a person owned 80 shares? So we can do this two ways. Number one, we could take your final price times your shares, and we subtract your initial price times your shares. Anytime you're finding the difference, we should write that down. When you're finding the difference, you want to take your final and subtract your start. Okay? Because that will then reflect your change. Otherwise, you could get a negative number incorrectly. So you should put that in a little bit of a box, okay? Your final minus the start. So if I did that, I would take $58.22. Whoops, I just about screwed that up. My final price is $53.87. Multiply that by 80 shares. Remember, this price is for each share, and we have 80 of them. Then we subtract the initial $58.22 times 80. Okay. Now, since the question led us through, we actually have method number 2. We have a decrease of $4.35 a share. So this would be the change, and we can multiply that by the shares. So we could times that by 80. And then we'll see what we get. On the calculator, 80 times $4.35, and make sure it's a negative number. Press equals. So negative $348. So that was the change in value. What word should we use in our sentence? Well, up top we used words like lower or decrease. What word would you like to use? Change. Would you have to use the word change? There's a decrease of $348 in value. So this poor person over the course of a week lost $348. Okay. Good. Now, if you did this math, you would get the exact same thing, right? You would do a subtraction at the very end. Okay. I like the method number 2 a bit better because it's a little more mathy. Any questions? Okay, let's go to the race now. Kyle's running Special Olympics. It's 800 meters. So what we have to do is break this up because they're talking about 100-meter increments. So this would be the first 100 meters, then the second 100 meters, then the third 100 meters. So in the first 100, he's 0.25 seconds ahead, plus. Then he lost 0.7 meters in this segment of the race. So he's 0.7 seconds. Okay. Then he lost 1.125 seconds. And then he gained 0.5 seconds. So we want to figure out where he is. So let's find the change. 0.25. Now do you guys want to do the shortcut method or the long way? Shortcut. So instead of going plus negative 0.7, we'll just start by doing the subtraction. And then we can do just a subtraction and then do the addition. So I simplified my signs as you went along. And a lot of you will do that naturally, which is good. It means you have a bit of number sense. So 0.25 minus 0.7 minus 0.125 plus 0.5. So overall we get negative 0.075. And that would be seconds. So now I want you to read the question and answer it. And tell me what you think the answer should be. Who has a live word answer? Yep, Kizia?
Kyle will have to gain 0.075 seconds.
Nope, nope. You're pretty darn close. You want me to circle the key word that you're missing out on? Because if he only gains that much, it's not a win, it's a tie. So what two math words, Arjun?
0.116.
But what if he doesn't? What if it's like 0.0751? What two words can reflect a good answer here? Tim?
At least 0.75 seconds.
You're really close, but there's probably two words that are better. Erica? Bingo! More than. Okay? So he must gain more than. Which means it can be super duper close, but just a tiny bit more than 0.075 seconds. More than is a very powerful word, right? Whole range of answers, just had a little bit bigger and he wins. Any questions? Okay, turn it over. So this one right here, price of gas in Chilliwack, in altitude's really expensive. Now this is considered a cheap cost. When we have this worksheet, that was like super expensive. Funny, isn't it? I know, haha. Wait, 450 kilometers. Abbotsford to Kelowna. One dude's driving the gas guzzler. The other one, nice low consumption. So we want to know how much less would it cost to drive the cheap, nice gas saver car. So what we want to know, first of all, is find the change, or the difference. So we're going to take the high value, 8.3 liters per 100 kilometers, and we're going to subtract the low value, 6.6 liters per 100 kilometers. So the difference, 8.3 minus 6.6, the difference is 1.7 liters per 100 kilometers. This is the difference between them. Okay, so what we're going to do then is use that to figure out how much gas would be used, and then how much that would cost. Okay, so 1.7 liters per 100 kilometers, and they drove 450 kilometers. How much fuel would that take? Or how much extra fuel? What's the difference in fuel? So in order to go from 100 to 450, what would you multiply by? Times 4.5. You'd do the same thing to the top then to keep your fraction the same. And so this would then be 1.7 times 4.5, 7.65 liters of fuel. Okay. So that's how much extra to use the big gas guzzler. So we take this amount, 7.65 liters, and times it by the cost of $1.07. Okay. Times 1.07, and that would equal $8.19. Remember, money has how many decimals? 2. Where does the dollar sign go in English? In front. Okay. So this would be $8. It would be cheaper. $8.19 cheaper to drive the smaller car. Okay. $8.19 cheaper. Yes.
Could you not just find the money for each car?
Exactly. Yeah, I was just going to say that. So just like the question up above with the this one right here. So what we did is we did this method, finding the change or the difference between the consumption. You could also just find the two costs. So what you could do is find the cost minus the cost. Absolutely. Okay. Yep, Neha. Just cross multiply. Yep, that totally works. Yeah, we do this a lot, but cross multiplying works too. Absolutely. I'm not going to say no to that. Okay? We call these equivalent fractions, right? Some are easy to see, some are harder. Okay, so down here, I like that, cross multiply. Okay, so what we're looking here is that mean. What does the mean mean? Average. So how we find the average is we find the total sum and divide it by the number of numbers. Now the honors class thought they're so smart, the smartest kid screwed it up. What you want to do is you make sure on your calculator that you press equals. Otherwise, you're only dividing the last number. You want all of them added up, so press equals, then divide. Okay, so let's take this here. $1.45 plus $1.72 plus $1.26 plus $1.36. What are we going to divide by? 4. Now when you're writing this down, don't be super lazy. Actually find that number. That's forcing you to press equals to get the question right. Force yourself to get the right answer, please. Grab your calculator. Please do practice because it's really important. It does help you prepare. Press equals, and we get $5.81. That's so important to get that number. Can't emphasize that enough. Okay, get that number, then divide by 4. And we get $1.45 per liter. Okay, is the mean cost. Okay. Questions? Yep.
Isn't it $1.36, not $1.30?
Oh, I totally screwed it up, didn't I?
Still would be the same.
So this should be 5.79, is that right?
That's what I had already. Right?
Okay, thank you, 5.79. So 5.79 divided by 4, is that right, guys?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Round up, yeah.
Okay, so $1.45, got to round up. Okay. Thanks for correcting me, okay? I always do that. Like I say, I go too fast, I'm not paying attention. Well, I am paying attention, but think about all this other stuff. Okay. How you guys doing? You okay? I'm not going to go over this last one. It gets a, I'm not going to go over the last one because I don't think we're going to get through it. No, we're not going to get through it before the bell, okay? So if you see this one, I think this is the last question, leave it. Okay, just leave it. We'll go over it tomorrow quickly. Here's the clue.